There we go. Happy Saturday evening, assholes. Here we are. um,
Where'd you go? She cut herself out, y'all. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know where she went, y'all. Hold on.
there
Mandi.
it totally booted me out. I'm back, but I had to do some my whole internet went away. So I was like, oh, not again. But anyway, so I don't have an Abby, but we're back. Are we?
Okay.
We're back live. It doesn't say in broadcast. Okay, we're good. Yeah, like it was crazy. The whole thing just went down, and it said it was like Norton booted it. Anyway, we're back. No biggie.
I was like, what do I do now?
Well, now I know it completely went away, but we're back. Hey, you guys, I'm gonna look at this on the YouTube end of it so that I can see what you guys see. But Arabia loves to talk, and so do I.
I don't see anything but myself in the thing.
Do you see the white circle with the person? Yeah, it's because I don't my Avi didn't come back on when I came back on.
Oh, can everybody hear me though? Because I know sometimes my phone cuts in and out.
That's what I'm checking real quick. Can everybody hear her? Are we like live? And there we go. Are we live and everyone can hear us? Hey guys, how are you? Alicia and Let It Go and Mad Cotter, I'm sorry. Sissy and Fabulously Frugal and Naturally Vain. Yes, we can hear you. Okay. So we're both here and you can hear us. That's wonderful. Arabia just likes to talk and nobody wants to hear her talk. They send the popo when she talks. They get their feelers hurt and they call the police. Let me tell you something though. Like you saw from the title, there's some sheriff's department that don't like that. Not at all. Not at all.
And I'm actually sitting outside so that if they get called again, they don't have to bang on my door. Right. You guys will actually see them and be able to see everything that they say to me when they show up, because I know they'll show up because that's just what a certain person likes to do. However, all it's doing is like even furthering all the complaints that I've already filed on her.
There you
like
go.
The whole perjury thing, like they have all the evidence of that. That video that she said didn't exist, and the video that she went to court and told that judge that was of me and her that was mentioned on Pirate's panel, that's been submitted as evidence.
And let's talk about perjury. What is the perjury for the people that don't know, but I'm sure they do? How did you purge yourself specifically?
Well, when you swear out a complaint, you're supposed to do it under oath anyway. But once you get in front of a judge and you swear under oath that the testimony you're giving is the truth, and you tell not one lie, not two lies, not three lies, but a whole bunch of lies, and your whole testimony can be proven to be a lie. That's what makes the difference between if you actually get charged with perjury or if a judge just, doesn't preponder enough evidence to believe you. Which we talked last night about. The whole reason I'm appealing this is the lack of evidence goes to show that if there's not enough evidence to preponder, the judge couldn't have prepondered any damn thing.
Yeah.
Purely testimonial evidence is not enough for a judge to ponder.
And the thing is this particular type of EPO that she went and got, you guys, that she went and applied for, is a order specifically for people that were in a relationship of some sort. It's domestic violence, partner on partner.
Yeah, she went and she got a domestic violence order of protection. And when the court date came, I couldn't go and appear in court, so I was over the phone. And, you know, on the little bitty piece of complaint that they served me that she filled out, I didn't think I really had anything to worry about. So, you know, doing the phone interview, I was like, okay, you know, whatever. So, and mind you, she went and filed 2 of them. So when I got the first one, I wasn't real clear that she was trying to say that we were in an intimate relationship, even though it had been marked. But what was marked had said that we were unmarried, lived together, or formally living together. But it wasn't making sense to me because the order they served me clearly said domestic violence.
Right.
And so I was like, well, you know, I thought something of it, but I didn't know what to think of it at first. Well, the next day is when I was served the one from Indiana where she did the 9-page complaint and had clearly marked on there that, yes, her and I were in an intimate relationship. So what the perjury is first of all, is making all that shit up. But what makes it chargeable is she swore under oath. And even when I was on the phone,
3
even
times
when I was
she swore. 3 times she swore under oath. 3 times.
Yes, because when we were on the phone, I kept telling the judge, you know, that's not correct. And he asked her 2 additional times what her relationship was to me. And she said it was a sexual relationship. 2 additional times after telling her initial story. And what was said is that there was a sex tape that existed between her and I, and that I was threatening to, you know, basically give that to people and this and that and the other. She said that she told him how I told her I was going to punch her in her mouth if I seen her. She told him that I said I was going to beat her ass. And she made it look as though she was trying to get away from me and that these things were being done to her because we're in the sexual relationship and I was somehow now abusing her to keep her from leaving me. That's how she made it sound.
There you go.
And I was just in fucking awe at first. I was like, what the fuck? And so I kept thinking to myself, that ain't what this complaint said.
Exactly. That is exactly it. And to make it clear, you were friends for 30 years. At any point, any drunken time, anything like that, were you ever intimate? Ever? Never.
I mean, we're not even the type of friends that have ever really even, you know, walked through the house with, you know, half dressed or anything. I mean, we've never even done that. You know, like I have other girlfriends, I'll be at their house and, you know, they'll walk through the house, you know, and be changing their shirt while they're throwing laundry and like we didn't even do that type of shit.
That's it, because y'all weren't close enough. Y'all weren't.
We really weren't.
You weren't close enough. Yeah.
Right. We'd known each other for 30 years, but as I said last night, there were time periods of 6-7 years when we didn't speak even on the phone during that years, not just once, but you know, a few times.
Right.
So, but anyway, so I told the judge, I was like, I object to that shit. That's a lie. And the judge's issue was that he was told that I was sick and that's why I couldn't come in because I had to call to get approved to do the phone thing. But no, the reason I couldn't go in is because my son had to be logged on to his virtual classroom during the time of the court hearing. And I knew even if I went to the courthouse, you know, I mean, hell, if they're still closed, I don't want to be dragging my baby in there.
Exactly.
You know, plus the Supreme Court says I don't have to fucking appear.
Exactly.
So, so I think the judge initially, you know, he just listened to her and he asked me my side. And I was like, you know, she's already been caught lying. She got caught by the chief of police telling several different stories. She's gotten caught by the prosecutor. And the judge was like, why couldn't you appear? And I told him, I said, because my son has to, be on school or whatever. And he was like, but didn't you tell my clerk you were sick? I said, yeah, 3 days ago. I said, but when I called in yesterday to make sure that I was, definitely scheduled to be called so that I didn't miss the hearing, I was asked again, and I told them that I didn't feel well. Plus, my son had to be in school.
And let's talk just briefly about this 6-year-old that lives in your home, that is your child. Do you know every single time she calls the police because she doesn't like what Arabia's saying, and they come a beating on her door, that there is a 6-year-old child in there that it frightens? That is a false reason for calling the police. The people that respond say as much. You have scared that little boy. He had no reason to be put through that. Yaba, how would you feel if your youngins had their door beat on over and over?
Well, they're getting ready to, because her address is listed on the criminal complaints that I took.
Well, there you go.
Her and her girlfriend's address both are listed on the criminal complaints, because there actually were criminal complaints that were pushed through to be served to her as court summons, and she's avoiding answering the door. So yes, her girlfriend's address is on those complaints as well. And as of next week, that is exactly where they will go if they can't get a response from her address. Because the internet says that they're supposed to be moving in together. They're spending all this time together. So if you're not home to get your court summons for lies that you told that you need to come to court and clarify, then I mean, you can't lie your way into this and then hide your fucking way out.
That's
no, ma'am.
Exactly. Nope. Doesn't work like that.
That's what's not going to happen here. That's what's not going to happen here. But anyway, so the judge had a problem. He thought I lied to him when I told him my son had to be in school. He was like, well, that's not what my clerk said. I said, well, I've called your clerk 2 different times, sir. She was told on Monday that I didn't feel well, and she was told yesterday and today that I wasn't going to be able to appear because my child had to go to school. Well, evidently, because he didn't get the message that day, from that day that I called, he thought I was lying, and from that point on assumed everything else I said was a lie. So he granted her the domestic violence order. Now, last night we talked about how there's only 2 court orders attached to that. That is no direct contact, no third-party contact. And I have to stay 500 feet away from her. Well, there is nothing. Oh, and the one that says no third-party contact also says no stalking, no threatening. There's very specific things that are marked on this order, which I have not violated any of them. But for some reason, every time I speak,
No, I said no, you haven't.
No, but for some reason, a certain somebody thought that order was going to make me shut up completely. That I don't know why that was assumed. But somebody thought that order was going to literally put me in a position where if I spoke about this situation, if I mentioned that dog, if I talked about anything regarding any of this, that they were just going to come throw me in jail.
Right.
Well, that's not how it works, because what I have to violate on that order is the judge's specific orders.
Exactly. And what the police are concerned about, because it's a protection to protect your being so there's no violence, the police do not care about people getting their feelers hurt. They care about someone violating and coming in with that 500 feet.
Well, that's why I'm sitting outside, so that when the police show up tonight, you guys can hear what the sheriff's department is saying about this. Because they're going to come. I know they're going to come.
And they come because they're called. They have to come, but they're not coming.
And that's what they told me is it doesn't matter if they were out here just 5 minutes prior. If they get a call, they have to come. However, all it's doing is making more of a record to prove who is stalking and harassing who.
Right.
Because how do you know every single time I get on the internet within minutes to contact them? How do you know what I'm saying about you unless you yourself are having people send you my shit because I have you blocked?
And that's what the judge looks at. What if you've got them blocked on all your social media, if you've got them blocked in your phone, if you have all of that, It does not matter if they hear something that hurts their feelings. And I hate to keep going back to that. It's got to be some sort of direct threat. So I could call the police on my neighbors every 5 minutes for the rest of the night, and they're going to come. They have to. It doesn't
That's
mean
what he
that
told
they're
me.
responding to anything in particular.
Exactly. And that's what he told me. He said, when we get a call, we have to respond. But see, the police have been used here so many times that not only does the Meade County Sheriff, but the local mall draw police, they're all aware. They know this judge signed this order against me on grounds that she obtained by telling lies, because you got to remember, before we went to court on that order, she tried to tell these lies already to the police and prosecutors who did not believe her.
Yeah, this was an ongoing thing.
Right. And everybody around here knows I've appealed it. Everybody knows, because when I tell you I have not shut up about that shit, I haven't. I haven't. People at the gas station know. Anybody who will listen to me knows, because
it's not right.
I really have a problem with judges who do shit like that, because those are the type of judges that, are the reason why people go to prison for shit they didn't do.
Yeah,
people are executed for murders they never committed because of judges like him. And that's my biggest problem here. I don't give a fuck about the no contact order. I never planned on talking to, that person again in my life anyway. This whole thing started because I asked her to leave my home before she ever even moved out.
Right.
There's a lot more to this that people don't know, because when I did that first panel, for one, I was drunk, half drunk. For two, I was pissed off.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really, do a good job at like just laying it all out there in sequence.
Well, you did a pretty good job
to really understand what actually had gone on.
Right.
I started from the day I was accused of stealing the dog and went with it. But no. Let's back up a couple weeks before she moved out of my house. I actually asked her to leave my house.
That's what I'm saying. And when you say you asked her to move out is kind of the wrong term, because you never let her move in. You let her stay with you.
And what I told her is she needed to go home. Because I wanted the shit that, there was not a day's worth of peace that she was at my house. If it wasn't fighting with motherfuckers on the internet, it was fighting with her kids. If it wasn't fighting with her kids, she's screaming and yelling, over the landlord shit that was going on.
There's a good question. And Viv Hyde says, I don't understand how anyone can make an accusation without proof. Don't you need proof before it goes this far? That's my point. That judge asked for a lease that y'all were both on, of a cell phone plan that
he never even asked her how long the relationship was in existence.
No.
He never asked her if there was. He didn't ask her if there was prior history of domestic violence. He didn't ask her if there was a police report. He asked her no questions whatsoever. He was pissed off that I pretty much told him, well, your clerk misinformed you, because I also called yesterday and today and told her. He didn't believe me about why I said I wasn't there in person.
Yep.
When first and foremost, the Supreme Court said I don't have to fucking appear in person. But the judge just had a problem with me all the way around. And he really thought that I was not telling the truth about why I wasn't there. And from then on, it was just, he never asked her for shit. I even told him, I said, if you give me 30 minutes, and I have these transcripts, my attorney emailed me the file with the transcripts. So anybody who doubts anything I'm saying, not only do I have the domestic violence order to show that it was a case of domestic violence that she went there and tried to plead, I have the transcripts also that say exactly what the allegations and accusations were against me.
Yep.
So, but anyway, he just had a problem from the beginning that I didn't appear in person.
Yep.
And he just kind of went from there. Now, one thing I will say that he did do is when I kept denying the relationship with her, after the third time he asked her, she never said yes again. What her answer was the third time was, She knows if she says that this relationship didn't exist, I can't get this order.
Yep.
That's what she said the third time she was asked.
That's why. That it's so crucial.
You knew you couldn't get that order without the relationship existing.
Yep.
So, but anyway, because when she went down there and tried to actually, just file the criminal complaint on the threats I made to her, they seen the entire text thread. Because I have a county attorney that actually investigates criminal complaints before she pushes them through for court action or rejects them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, when I was telling the story about the dog, she actually got caught in her own lies by sending the police to my house about that dog. Yeah. Because when the chief of police seen the text threads involving the dog and all the threats that she actually made to me that day, right, he himself called the prosecutor's office to have the criminal complaint stopped. And that's because he would have been the person that would have come out to investigate if the prosecutor decided, to dig a little bit about what's going on with this dog. Right. So yes, there's some truth to the fact when the other side said, well, the prosecutor wasn't in the office that day. You're right. But the phone lines work. He called and left a message for that prosecutor from my fucking front porch. I know he called. Mm-hmm. Now, I got confirmation that Monday that no criminal charges were going to be pushed through. They were all being rejected for prosecution. Mm-hmm. Okay. 2 days later, there was a live stream done where somebody had called the prosecutor's office and said, well, I filed charges on, Billy Fulton. Can you tell me, she's saying they're not going to be prosecuted. And the lady on the phone did tell her, well, I think your friend is misinformed. Yes. Okay. Now that phone call actually does me two things. Mm-hmm. She verified on that phone call on her own live stream that she was calling to see if her complaint that she filed on her friend was going to be prosecuted. Uh-huh. And that was done in a live stream after you filed your EPO on me, where you said you were being stalked, harassed, threatened, and all this abuse was happening to you. And this is all screen recorded on a flash drive. It's all cleared away. Exactly. I have all of that, even though it's no longer available, from that channel. I have it all. I have it all. What happened was I filed a criminal complaint, and I think the lady that she talked to actually got the names confused. Mm-hmm. Because there is a criminal summons on that complaint that I filed that she will not open her door to be served. Okay. There actually is a criminal charge pending against her, and they keep trying to serve her for a court date, and she won't answer her door. This is what she does. She's been doing this for years. When she knows she's served with something, she doesn't open the door. Well, here's the thing. Because when she filed her other EPO, she said that she wanted moving expenses because of harassment that is basically forcing her to relocate. No, you're not relocating because of harassment. You're relocating because there are criminal summons, and there's more than just one. Mm-hmm. There are criminal summons. You are choosing not to open your door to be served these criminal summons. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? That's why you're moving. That's why you're trying to hurry up and get out of your apartment. It has nothing to do with harassment. No, nothing. Nobody has harassed her at that apartment. No. And then, and not only that, but a lot of the criminal complaints that she filed on me, she lied on those too. She said that I put all of her information out on the internet. No, I didn't. My specific tweet said, somebody lied their way from South Bend, Indiana to Scottsburg, Indiana. Yep. No address was ever given. Nope. No zip code. No nothing. None. None of that. None of it. None of it. Nope. She, however, the criminal complaint she took out on me for that larceny on that fucking dog, she put the whole criminal complaint online, blacked her address out, and left mine there for everybody to see. I have all that too. Yes. So when you're telling one set of lies to a prosecutor and a judge in one state, you got to at least be consistent with the lies that you then go tell another prosecutor in another state.
Right.
And anybody who ever thought that I was going to go to jail in 2 different states for stealing that little dog is retarded. Literally, you're retarded. If you ever believe that.
And and to believe, let's say no matter what may be going on in her relationship now, to believe that you and she had ever been in a relationship would be to admit that you and she were in a relationship at the same time.
Let me tell you something about that too. Ironically, nobody had ever heard that until I did that live panel.
There you go. That's
not hard to prove.
Nope.
Because the day her and I were arguing over this dog that she first went and filed all this shit on me.
Right.
I have a text message from her telling me I'm not trying to fall out and fuck up a friendship of 30 years over a dog. We spent all day long arguing. I have the whole text thread. Nothing related to any type of intimate relationship situation. None of that. None of it. I also have the text message from that same day where she told me that since I went on that panel, I got I can't remember exactly how it was worded. I got it, but something about you have it all coming to you now, Billy.
Yep.
I mean, it was retaliatorial. And I have the evidence to not only prove that, but I also have the evidence to prove that when she actually took it all the way to court, that she perjured herself.
Right. But this is also the thing that has to be clear. In order to, I was looking at the chat for a second, but keep going. I lost my train of thought.
Somebody said something about, don't you have to have evidence? Well, here's the thing. Yes and no. When you, hold on, there's a plane flying over.
Oh, okay.
When you, that's a big old plane. Oh, shit. But when you first go down to a county attorney's office to file a criminal complaint, what you do is you basically verbally swear that you're telling the truth. You can have evidence at that time, but you don't have to have evidence at that time to actually submit your complaint.
Right.
So the prosecutor's office takes your complaint on face value initially that are telling the truth. However, when that shit gets in front of a judge, especially if it's a criminal complaint, not something like a DVO that's just like a civil type thing, when you actually get in front of a judge in criminal court, yes, you have to prove your allegations. Absolutely. Right. You have to have proof of them. Now, this is what loses a lot of people. Some people ain't got a lick of proof that anything happened. How that fucks people around is if there's no proof you did anything, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have the proof that you didn't do it. So sometimes your own lack of evidence is what gets you fucked around with people like that run to the courthouse and lie.
Exactly.
But you know, in certain situations, a judge can just choose not to. A judge can choose to throw something out based on the fact that he don't believe it. But a record still has to show specific things, whether the judge believes it or not. The problem with the DVO hearing was there's footage of the opposite, in fact, that Arabia and the other party were. Right.
That's my train of thought I lost. That's why I was like, let me put that up there because I lost that. There's more proof that you have that's now on a flash drive of things that she said.
2 flash drives.
Of things that she said, screenshots of her, that you were only friends. And that's friends at best. At worst, you were kind of just
well, and the thing is I also, you know, the chief of police is also probably going to get summons to the hearing on the appeal because she told him the first time she called the police that she had moved out and, you know, that I wouldn't give her the dog or whatever. The second time she called the police, she didn't realize that when she contacts the police for my address during the day, it's always going to be him that comes out.
Yes. Yes.
So when she calls and she's telling dispatch what she needs, she's telling different stories than what she actually tells the officer that's showing up.
Right.
Because the day she called and said she just wanted to have police assistance to come back in my house with her key because she actually did still live there. Well, the officer that responded was actually the same chief of police that she had told a couple days before that she had been moved out almost 2 months ago.
Oh, wow. I'm just putting the highlights up there. These are good things coming in. I just keep popping them up there as they come in.
No, she's not the whole jealous lover thing comes in. I actually, I set myself up for that, honestly, because I did rant and rave on some shit related to her relationship on the first live panel that I did. So I set myself up for that.
Right.
That just conveniently worked to her advantage.
Right.
But the reason I was saying the things I was saying on the panel that night is those are the things I had proof of. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's why those things specifically were thrown out there. I had proof of the lies that she had told to that particular person. That is why that very first panel that I did, that's why it may have looked as if I was going for her relationship, but I was targeting certain lies that I knew she told because I had proof on hand at that time of those lies.
You can't be
so
jealous.
I set myself up for that one.
Yeah.
However,
you can't be jealous of someone you don't want.
Exactly. And I can't be jealous of a relationship where I know myself deception, it was built on deception. There's still deception, especially if her girlfriend is being told that same story she told the judge. I know fact if that girlfriend is being told that it's still nothing's changed with the deception from beginning to now.
Right.
However, if that girlfriend knows differently and is still supporting the fact that somebody lied about being a victim of domestic violence, then you ain't shit anyway. And, y'all deserve each other. Right. So either way you look at it, there's nothing about that relationship to be jealous of. No.
And this is true. Screenshots that say she's engaged and getting married to somebody else. As a matter of fact, she had even put on a gown and said she was doing fertility treatments. Whatever. She might have been joking. She might not have been.
But you know what? But that's between them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but the point is, if the dates coincide with when she was supposed to be with you, that she was engaged to y'all, that's a problem in the eyes of the courts.
Well, Mandi, when I tell you I have enough that I need to prove perjury in a criminal court, at this point, any other evidence would honestly just be an overbearance of evidence, because that's literally how much I have.
And you only get a certain amount of time.
I'm not satisfied with just, the other courts not granting her the next one. No. I'm not satisfied with just appealing the one that was granted.
Oh, that was the other thing.
I want criminal charges for her to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
For the lies that she has told and all the things that she has done that she had to do because of the lies she told, like sending the police to my house constantly when I got a 6-year-old child asleep, or even during the day when he's trying to go to school. No, there needs to be criminal liability, because perjury is a fucking crime at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, and the other question is this, because people have asked, and I know, so we talk about the counsel that you retained. What facet of this process is that attorney helping you and representing you with now?
The attorney is doing the appeal. But he is also willing to go to court with me on the 16th if I can, the domestic violence orders should be a family court issue. Now, I've
Right.
already explained we don't have a family court in Meade County, so it was a criminal court judge that actually heard the case. However, the litigation is
Mhm.
still considered family litigation, which is some of the most expensive.
Right.
Family litigation is the most expensive litigation out there.
But that's what we got her for. She covered the 350. We gave her 400, and that was the counsel that was retained for that. So I just wanted to let you guys know we're going to be
Right.
transparent and show receipts.
Right. And what I was getting ready to say is, that money went to the attorney that did the appeal because you
Right.
only have a certain amount of days to appeal.
Right.
However, if I can raise more money, he is willing to represent me in Indiana too. But if not, I'm not worried because I actually have an attorney in Indiana that was paid a while back for something, and I never got that retainer fee back, even though I did not use them for what I initially paid them for.
So this attorney's barred in both states. He's barred in Kentucky and in Indiana because it's so close. Is that right?
Not barred, he's licensed.
Oh, I meant like
barred means you.
I thought that meant like when you can do like on both places. But anyway, he's licensed in both areas.
Right.
Okay, cool. Because those states
and a lot of attorneys in this area are, because I'm so close. Jefferson County, most of the attorneys here, they honestly work in the surrounding counties, and they don't like to do family court shit in Meade County Courthouse. That's why it was so hard to find one that would actually do it, because the way they do family court, the whole thing is just fucked up. No attorney wanted to go to fucking Meade County, not for family stuff in a criminal setting. But yes, that's where that money went. That money went on the appeal. Yep. And like I said, if I can give him some more money, he will definitely be able to represent me on the 16th. But if not, I'm not worried about it, because the other attorney over there who never gave me my retainer back on some shit from back when my daughter was in trouble.
Right. Is he want the same amount, or is it less, more than the $750?
He wants another $400 is what he wants. And I mean, either way, it is what it is.
Either way,
and honestly, at this point, honestly, I've even submitted enough evidence on that case that I could probably go without an attorney. Yeah, she did 2 different orders in 2 different states on the same fucking day.
Same day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so it's like,
and the reason she did that is the one she filed over here first was not immediate.
Right.
So she went to Indiana thinking, well, she'll get an immediate order over there. Yeah. Well, they didn't give her an immediate order either.
And it had nothing to do with her being physically frightened of anything. She wanted to shut Arabia up. That was her bottom goal, bottom line, to shut her up. Because everything.
Well, she only shut me up from being able to contact her directly or having anybody else contact her. Oh, and the Meade County Sheriff's Office also told me that as far as third-party contact goes, that third party actually has to show the police.
Wow.
That I made contact with them before they would be even willing to arrest on that at this point.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, she can continue to go down to county attorney after county attorney and file all the charges she wants to. She might get lucky enough to push one through court, and I really wish she would. I really wish that one of these county attorneys would put some shit in front of a criminal court, because the fact that she is lying and does not have evidence to support the things that she's going down here and saying, that's perjury again. But the only thing that's going to get anything pushed through to any court here is she's going to really have to convince this prosecutor that at this point that her life is in danger.
Right. That's the bottom line. That's what these orders are for.
Right.
That's what they were intended for.
And another thing. Okay, let's just say, let's just say they do or don't grant her the order over there. if there's a violation here, like, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, Indiana recognizes Kentucky's order that is granted to her. They recognize it. But for her to actually get a warrant for any type of violation, like I said, this prosecutor over here is going to have to be convinced that literally her life is in danger at this point. Because the sheriff himself told me for someone to have that type of leverage over someone, for the 2 petty threats that I made to her, there's definitely something deeper behind her wanting those orders.
Exactly.
Because 2 petty threats does not make anybody that scared.
Nope.
And if you take into consideration that one of the threats I made to her, she was threatening to come to my house to get this dog that she said I stole, after she had threatened to do other things, which is not a crime. The things that she threatened to do to me weren't a crime. But she did threaten to have my bond revoked at that time. And she threatened to file unemployment fraud on me. So I told her, and then she wanted to come get her dog. And I told her, I said, you know, if you come to my house to get this dog, I'm gonna whoop your ass. So if you look at the context that threat was made in, there was no danger to her whatsoever, as long as she stayed the fuck away from my house.
Right. As long as she didn't come to your house, she was fine.
Right. And if she would have shut the fuck up and gave me time to calm down, she could have come got her damn dog.
Right.
But
you told her, you asked her to just leave you alone for a couple of days.
I did. And that's why when we were in that court hearing and I could tell that the judge wasn't trying to hear me, one of the other grounds that I have to appeal on is I asked for a continuance.
Right. And he denied it.
I told him that I had evidence to show that she's lying about everything she's saying. He wouldn't grant me even 30 minutes of a continuance to bring the evidence in there.
No.
But I asked him, I said, well, if you're not going to let me bring the text thread in there where the 2 petty threats were made to her, tell her to let you see the entire text. Not even the whole thread, but just the text above the one where I said the threat that she's telling him I said. And this is how I know it wasn't shown to him. For one, the record doesn't reflect that he asked for it. But for 2, if he had it, like say she printed it off or whatever, if he had it sitting in front of him, he made no record of that on the record.
Right. And it has to be, correct?
It has to be on the record. And if he looked at it, this is how I know he didn't look at it, even if he had it, and why he didn't ask her for it. If you look at, even in the threat that I made, if you come to my house, I'm going to do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's another reason it's very evident, you know, based on the record, that he did not ask for the evidence. Right. But, you know, nobody should have that much fear in that context of when that threat was made. Right. To go to 2 different state courthouses, file 2 different emergency orders of protection, go to 2 different county attorneys, and then try to file criminal charges over a dog that not only she knows I didn't steal, but her counterpart knows I never stole that dog. So nobody should be that scared over the context of how that threat was made. Nobody.
Right.
So that right there shows what it was she was really scared of. She was scared of the things that I said on the panel that had nothing to do with criminal threats, had nothing to do with endangering her, had nothing to do with any physical harm to her. There truly is a sex video that exists that she made while she was here with one of the weed dudes that she was buying marijuana from when she lived at my house. And in the video, you can tell that it's her because you can see the memorial of her dead son on the arm and the hand of the person being fucked in that video. And if you have ever heard her voice, you know without a doubt it's her, even without her actual face showing in the video.
And she was not under duress in the video.
And because she was the one lying to the person that she has believing that all this is about love and feelings and emotion, that's if she would have told the truth at that point, none of this other shit would have happened. None of it. But she continued to lie about everything. And what she thought that order was going to do is shut me up so that that shit could die down and get swept under the rug. Well, it's not, because the minute you took it to the courthouse, I made sure that I actually got the video. And that's very evidence, some of the evidence that's going to be used to prove that not only did you lie and exaggerate your fear, you actually committed perjury here. I have the fucking video. And she knows that I could have gotten it because she knows I live in a town of only 100 or so, 150 people at most.
Wow.
I see the dude at the gas station all the time, which I said on that video that night.
Wow. And you, the point also with your sheriff's department is your sheriff's department is sick of it, and they're going to assist you in any way they can to stop the police harassment, correct?
You know, you want me to be honest about what one of the officers told me?
Yeah.
He said, well, you know, you moved to another state besides here in Kentucky, and she can't violate you for shit.
Yep.
I mean, and the only reason I'm saying and repeating that is for one reason, to show that this order, yes, it is a court order. Yes, it is. Yes, it's a serious court order if there are violations to it because it is related to domestic violence. But at the end of the day, it don't give her all the might and power that she thought it was going to give her.
Exactly. She got a little bit pompous here on the old internet, thinking she could scare and intimidate every single body.
And you know, and I was just going to let it go. But after she got that order and she continued to get on the internet and lie, and then she's dragging her counterpart up there supporting the lies. That's when I said, you know what? Okay.
And I'll admit, you know, I may have my history with Yaba back and forth and I don't care for it, but I am absolutely shocked that she's willing to put her head in the sand to this extreme.
Well, you know, when you're a female and you're not used to getting any certain type of attention that you may be wanting or desiring, and along comes somebody out of nowhere that gives it all to you, makes you really feel like you're everything to them, and you've been in a relationship that hasn't been satisfying, you know, I can almost understand it. But what I don't understand, being radio retarded for a bitch is you know, just beyond what anybody at our age should allow themselves to be for something.
Yes, exactly.
But
exactly.
Even though I can understand that maybe if that was a situation, the fact that she knew I never stole that goddamn dog.
Never.
She knew the lies that were being told to these county attorneys. And she defended it publicly, online, in this platform, on this forum, and she has stood by the person that she believes, or not that she believes, but she stood by the person that she knows, lied about being a victim of domestic violence.
Yeah.
That's when I lost all respect for her. And, you know,
the drama follows Sam. The drama and chaos follows Sam everywhere. It always has. That's all she has.
It don't matter what city or state that she goes to.
The common denominator is always her. Yes.
This is the type of shit that always ends up happening. It don't matter what city or state she goes to.
Nope.
And that is one of the reasons I was so mad when I realized this bitch really is not going home. Like she's locating here. She's here for good. because if something happens to that relationship, she can't go back home to South Bend where she's left her kid in the house with months behind on rent. Her daughter's not going to let her move in with her. The other daughter was couch surfing at the time. So who is the only other person that she can depend on? Me. And I don't want to be in a situation where I feel obligated to her, because the problems that she creates for herself, she creates them for herself.
Yes.
It's not my place to be there for her to clean her life up when she does this to herself. That's the problem that I had with her relocating here.
The thing is you've always, whether you were close or not, you've always kind of been there for her for a soft landing, just because you have known each other for so long. And she turned that soft
landing. And I'll be fair. I will be fair. She has been there for me too at times. I will be fair and say that.
You've never.
But the truth of the matter is, there's a difference in the situations I was in and the situations that she caused herself because of the type of person that she is. It's not that I didn't want to be obligated to help my friend, because I'm not a nasty bitch like that.
Right.
I was sick and tired of feeling like I was just surrounded by drama constantly.
Yes. Drama and chaos. That's what
drama that she would cause. And even when she was in my house, how many times did y'all actually see me on her live streams?
See, I never
Maybe
watched
once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice that I watched.
You know, I didn't like the shit when she was doing it in my house. And that's why I wasn't a part of it.
I'll tell you this. There was one, and I told you this, where she was saying, oh, Mandi and Sean were just live and they're not anymore. And you said, I don't know who that is. And she's like, shit pants and stank box. And you looked at her and you went, oh, okay. And you basically looked at her like, wow, that's real mature, Samantha. That's real.
And that was before we had a fight. And if that doesn't go to prove the irritation and aggravation that I was at that fucking point before any of this.
You were like, whoa, what? God, like you looked at her.
I'm telling you, like,
so immature.
You don't get peace around her.
Yeah.
I don't think she is capable of enjoying what peace feels like, because
she brought chaos
so used to the chaos that she don't know how to live in peace.
When we were friends, literally the chaos all the way from Indiana, and I live in Texas, and we'd never met. Once I picked up that phone, it was on. The drama and the chaos and the uncertainty and the upheaval. And I felt like I had to take it on because she needed someone to take it on with her. I couldn't do it.
Imagine her being in a state where you're the only fucking person she knows.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. And when I said
that was my problem.
When I said I can't do it, she turned on me. Like I said, I don't want to be friends anymore. I wish you the best. I don't want to be friends anymore. And she turned into straight stalker mode.
Well, here's the thing. I told her and gave her plenty of indication that her being in my house much longer wasn't going to work.
Right.
She went as far as to ask my daughter if she could go stay over there with her. And that same daughter that got on here and defended them and their shenanigans, that's the daughter that told her, hell no, you can't come here either.
Yep.
I have those text messages to prove. Nothing I've said has been a lie. Nothing.
Oh, nothing.
You know, I was telling this motherfucker from about 3 weeks in, this ain't going to work. It's not going to work. And she texted me out the blue one day and said, well, do you think Serena would let me come stay with her? Why do you think she asked me that? Because obviously I'm telling her it ain't working with you being here. And she couldn't go home because she was fucking, at that point, she was about 2.5, 3 months behind on rent in that house.
Well, good night, Khaki. When you said to me that she set up her computer right on your dining room table so that she could start her mess right on your dining room table in the middle of your entire family time, I realized that she thinks she is the only one that matters in any relationship. It
just got to the point where it was taking over my life.
Yeah.
I don't think I've said this publicly, but I think I've told you about it on the phone where, you know, there was one night that somebody was going live. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Yaba. It might have been somebody else. I don't really remember. But I had food in the oven, and I was getting the food out of the oven to sit my child down at the table so he could eat. And she acted like we were in her way.
Exactly.
Hold on, y'all. There's another plane.
I'm telling them,
planes are flying low.
I'm telling that dude. They asked where your channel was, and I said due to
my channel got struck. My channel got struck because I put a strike on Samantha's channel in her own name because I got confused on the fucking information they were asking because I've never done no shit like that.
It is,
and they took my channel down.
She was filing a privacy complaint on the one where she doxed her picture.
And I really didn't do it on purpose.
We did it.
I didn't realize that I had did it that way until they contacted me. But I didn't.
In retrospect, it's kind of funny.
I didn't. But you know what? That was an honest mistake, y'all. It was. I didn't do that shit to her on purpose. I did strike one of her videos. Two of her videos. I struck two of her videos. The one where she put my mugshot up and something else that she did. I don't even fucking remember.
A court case that she knew nothing about. A court case.
Yeah. And when I was filling out the complaint, it kept asking me questions that I didn't understand what it meant. So I just kept putting her information there because the fucking channel belonged to her.
When Arabia read the email that they sent, she was like, "Oh my God!" She goes, "I just read they terminated my channel because I
didn't even realize it until they contacted me and told me that I forget what I got the email somewhere, but I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that was an honest mistake. That is not something that was done on purpose.
So anyway, we're gonna get because I did a new channel.
But because I did it on both videos, I guess they thought that I had did it on purpose. No, I've never had to do no shit like that. So I didn't know how to do it. I thought all the information they were asking was like on the channel person.
Right.
And so I kept putting her fucking information.
That was funny. So anyway, no harm, no foul. She lost her channel, but she's gonna start another one. And you're right. That
tell them I'm not ignoring. Tell them I'm not ignoring them. I honestly cannot. Right. I can't see the chat.
That's why I'm putting these up so that you can see the main thing. Right here. People have been asking this all evening because they want to know, they want you to prove, not that they think you lip sync, but they want everyone to shut the hell down up. So why don't you sing something for us right now for the next 45 seconds?
What do you guys want me to sing?
I love Ariel, Little Mermaid.
Y'all have to send me the link so I can hear the song.
Oh, okay. It's that I want to be part of your world. It's old.
Look. This is what we'll do. You guys get some songs together.
Okay.
Put the links in the chat. And then when we get done talking, we'll go through and we'll sing the songs.
Okay.
You might have to play them on your screen for me to know what they are. Because some songs I don't know. But yes, we will do that. We will do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So that was a lot of people are asking for that because they love your voice. But you're right, Karen, that kind of drama and chaos wears you out. And when I nicely said, Samantha, I don't want to do it anymore, that was when it got really bad. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. You can ghost her. You can not talk about her. You can starve her out, but she'll still follow you around. She'll still talk about you. She'll still do it. Is it chocolate? You eat some chocolate?
I don't know what it is.
We got someone in our community that says that every time they eat chocolate, they break out all over their chin.
But you know what? I don't eat a lot of chocolate, so I don't know.
No, I don't think it's chocolate. That's an old wives' tale, I think. Chocolate don't make you break out.
You know, like
your phone.
Not only does it wear you out, but mind you, I have a 6-year-old child in my house
who is being subjected to this bullshit of butthurt feeling police over.
Just the constant noise, just the constant chaos. My child. Let me tell y'all how peaceful my house is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I sit and watch TV in the living room, or get up and do my thing, clean my house, whatever. My baby goes in his room. He wrestles and he keeps his house coat on because the wrestlers, you know how they wear them cape things.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, he is addicted to wrestling.
Aww.
He plays PlayStation. He's got all kinds of wrestling games. He plays his PlayStation. He watches YouTube videos in his room. He's got big old stuffed animals that are bigger than him, and he'll wrestle all day long. You know, and he does his own thing. There's nobody there yelling. There's nobody there screaming. There's nobody, you know what I mean? And then just out of nowhere, every single day, it's just loud. It's noisy. It's chaos. And then if she would leave and come back, as soon as she walked in the door, it was loud, noisy, chaotic. And he's not used to that.
Right.
Now when my other kids lived at home and all 5 of them were still in the house, I mean, yeah, that, you know, but he's really like, and I myself have gotten peace since my other kids have, you know, gotten older and moved out, because I've never had just one kid at home.
Right.
So we both are used to the peace now.
Right.
And I'm just, you know, I'm the type of person that when I want to go get in some bullshit or I want to be on some bullshit, I leave my house and go run the streets of Louisville.
Right.
Or, you know, Southern Indiana. But my home is where my peace is at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my home is where I can go to, take my shower, you know, relax and just enjoy peace. When I want chaos in my life, I go make my own chaos by running the goddamn streets, and it don't follow me home.
And I mean, there was like pot smoking on the front porch that the neighbors had to smell, just complete and total inconsideration for the fact that you took her into your home.
And the thing that bothered me about that, I didn't give a fuck that she smoked. All my kids smoke, you know. What bothered me about that is the neighbor that lives right beside me complains constantly about the people upstairs that smoke because it comes through her vents and she can smell it. So Samantha already knew the fucking bitch was complaining. She already knew that.
We just decided it.
And what she do, she sits on the porch right next to her porch while they are both outside and just lights it up, giving that woman something to complain about.
Right.
And that is also the same woman who would text me in the middle of the night. Now, I know that there is a stream out there that says that, you know, I told her that the neighbor was complaining one night, but the neighbor had seen her the next day and had just gotten home from out of town. That's true. That's true. That woman has a disabled brother that lives in her apartment too. She wasn't home. The brother was home.
And
so at 4 o'clock in the morning, what'd you say?
I said, what does it matter who complained? I mean,
well, what she was trying to say is that I was lying because the woman hadn't even been home all night. Well, that's partially true. But her disabled brother was in there. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, when Samantha was going on and laughing and talking and playing music and everything on her phone, where the bed is on the other side of the wall that the neighbor is sleeping in, he don't have my number. So he's not the one that called me. He called his sister at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then she texted me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, only someone like Samantha, who doesn't give a shit about anybody or anyone, would say you were lying about who made that complaint because so and so wasn't there. No.
But the thing is, you know, that wasn't the only neighbor that complained, because some of my neighbors don't know me.
Right.
Some of my neighbors went straight to my landlord about things like her smoking weed on my front porch.
Yeah.
Being outside after dark, screaming at the top of her lungs, you know, in the middle of the fucking night on live streams.
Right.
You know, some of my neighbors truly did not know who the fuck she was or what apartment she was coming from. So those are the neighbors that went directly to my landlord.
Yeah. Karen says that must be stressful. I can't listen to her for more than 2 minutes without her voice setting me on the edge. Karen is the sweetest, kindest person in the world. She's spunky, but she's kind. So for her to say that, that's the absolute truth. This is the other.
I can tolerate her for about 2 or 3 days.
I can't
you know, because she is funny. She is funny.
She's
funny.
And she's funny.
And I'm loud too. I'm loud too in a setting where like I'm conversing with people and I have a naturally loud voice too, but she's 100 times louder than
Well,
me.
and here's the thing.
Um,
She's also funny if she's not annihilating you or your private parts. She's funny. But lately, all
well, yeah, I guess.
yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like, used to, she would talk about, current events and this and that, and she was funny and make jokes about her kids, or we would make jokes about her kids. Now it's this direct character assassination, and it's ridiculous. This is YouTube. We're all a little weird, but she sets out to make someone, just rip them apart for what? But you don't have any room to try to rip anyone apart. Look at you. Look what you're about.
And that's my whole point is, nothing she has said about me is the truth. But even if it was, let's just say it was, how does that take away from the piece of twat rot that she is? How?
I've never heard that before. I don't know. I really don't know.
Even, and another thing, like when she was saying everything she was saying about Jessica. Well, first of all, Jessica's never been a junkie.
No.
Jessica was on prescription pills for anxiety to deal with the loss of her son.
That's exactly right. And she tried to say that I knew all of these things about Jessica. No, I knew what you told me.
And I thought when somebody sent me that tweet that she was talking to me.
No.
Saying,
No,
I'm like, bitch, I don't know nothing. But I'm the only other person that knows Jessica besides her.
Right. No,
so that's why I thought somebody sent me that tweet trying to say, well, she's saying that that she's this and she. No, well, what I know is that, she was on prescription pills to deal with the death of her son, and she was befriended and she was taken advantage of. And, somebody was offering her pain pills when she was prescribed anxiety pills, but she was never a junkie.
No.
Not never.
Well, and here's the thing, what I've come to learn through Savage, you, Jessica, all of these, the picture that Samantha paints of people and who and what they are is not accurate. She destroys people so that she can make herself appear to be more than she is.
And so she does that. She don't just do that online.
No, that's what you said. She does it to everyone.
She don't just do that online. She does that in person.
Right.
She just, I don't know. I just wanted the peace and quiet back in my own home. She was running the streets with multiple different people in the middle of a deadly pandemic. And another problem that I had, and this really bothered me. Okay. Now let me just clarify something. The reason my neighbor that was complaining, on the other side of the wall from where my bed was, where her bed is, obviously Samantha was the one in the bedroom. I was on the couch. So that's another thing. If we were in any type of intimate relationship, don't you think I'd be in my own bed?
Exactly.
But anyway, another thing she did that really, really, really irritated me. There are times I will sleep on my couch even when nobody's in my house. Yeah. I don't get in my bed without taking a bath or a shower. I do not get in my bed with clothes on that I have had on outside. And this is even before the fucking pandemic.
A lot of nurses are like that.
I have never, ever, ever worn outside clothes to my bed. Ever. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. And she knows that. What bothers me about it, and I'll be honest, the relationship, her finding somebody that she liked or whatever, that was never the problem for me. The problem for me is she got so wrapped up in it that she totally disregarded and disrespected everything else as if though it didn't matter. You're sleeping in my bed. I'm telling you, don't keep getting in my bed, your outside clothes. But you get on the phone with your girlfriend and all of a sudden nothing I say matters in my own fucking house.
Wow, that's a simple request.
That I don't even let my kids get in my bed without changing their clothes and taking a shower. When my 16-year-old and my 13-year-old come to stay at my house, they don't get in my bed without taking a shower and putting clean clothes on first. That's just, and I've always been that way. I've always been that way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You bring in some nasty stuff from outside. If you put, you know what I mean? You do a germ
Yeah.
test on it, you bring some disgusting stuff in.
I myself will not get in my bed if I don't feel like taking a shower before I go to sleep. I will sleep on my couch.
Exactly.
So if I don't do it, and I have said several times to you that it's a problem for me. I mean, and it's things like that I, no, I was not irritated about the relationship. I was irritated that she got so wrapped up in it that literally nothing else mattered to her.
So like in your sheets,
one of these fucking planes again.
You're saying that she got in your sheets in her street clothes?
Yes.
Well, now.
Because Samantha is a person that gets up and takes a shower every morning. She don't take a shower at night before she goes to bed.
But she don't wash her hair. When does she wash her hair?
When she takes a shower, she washes her hair. But what I'm saying is Samantha is a daytime shower person.
Oh, gotcha.
She's not a nighttime shower person.
I was gonna say her hair never gets washed. Look at it.
But yeah, that bothered me.
Oh, I bet.
So did all the drama at my dining room table every night, where my son had to eat dinner and she would act like we were bothering her.
And I think that that bothers me. I think the reason that bothers me so much is because that was your family dinner table. And if your family is your son and you, because that's what's left in the household, because everybody else has grown up and moved on, that's still your family table. Right?
Yeah, because I don't allow him to eat in my living room. I don't allow him to eat in his room at all.
He's got he's got structure, which is good.
There's certain things I don't allow.
Right.
I keep my house, kind of in order. And another thing. She said, who told me that she said that she bought groceries and we ate them? Who told me that? Was it you or was it somebody else?
It was somebody else. I didn't say that, but I do know that
somebody said that she had said that she would buy groceries and I would eat them. First of all, I'm a lazy bitch. I don't cook. Okay. So if she's buying groceries, who's cooking them? Because I'm not. I'm being dead serious. I don't fucking cook for two reasons. After cooking for 6-7 people for years, it's hard to cook for just one person.
Right. You're exactly
So that's one of the reasons I don't cook. For two, I just can't be bothered with cooking.
Not only,
I literally get so comfortable in my home. I don't want to do anything.
Oh, exactly.
I enjoy sitting where it is clean, it smells good, it's quiet. And, I'm just one of those people that I don't like to be disturbed when I'm in my zone.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, if my son gets hungry, I will either order him food or I'll go get him food. But I can't be bothered to, like if I am not in the mood to cook, I can't cook because if I smell the food, it literally makes me sick.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly.
Call me lazy, call me what the fuck ever.
This is the other.
I'm telling the God's honest truth. I don't cook. So if she was bringing groceries in there, who the fuck was cooking them?
Well, here's the other side. You and I were talking. This is some craziness. So Arabia is like I am, and probably a lot of you. If you're running low on laundry detergent, which you never are because you buy more, when you decide you need to get some, you buy two. So you've always got some stacked in the back. If you might have 3, Tides or 3,
No. If y'all have ever been on one of Samantha's live streams when she was live streaming from my kitchen, I'm sure y'all have seen how well stocked.
So listen to what you did. While Arabia was indisposed, Samantha took it upon herself to not only shop for stuff
when I was in jail.
Yeah, to go to her apartment, to take to her apartment. She not only shopped, she took 2 of shit. She took 2 Tides, 2 Mr. Clean, 2 whatever. She sent that little boy to go to the car so that she could unload her house.
And my neighbor watched the whole thing.
And then she tried to blame it on the neighbor who had watched her walk everything out of the house. That is true.
Who had a key to my house because my neighbor is the one that came and got my car.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. That was, she told me that in passing, and I thought that was the most, when Arabia told the story, kept it moving, and I thought, no.
But who was it? Who was it that talked about how broke I was and how I was
Oh,
financially struggling?
Diane
But
Patterson
who?
that
And
said,
she said that to the same group of live stream followers that literally could see all my goddamn shit that stayed piled up in my kitchen where she did her live streaming from.
y'all, Arabia knows when one thing's missing out her cabinet.
Yes. As a matter of fact, she turned the fucking computer around to face the wall so that you could not see all the stuff in the background of my paper plates that were stacked up in 3 and 4 fucking bulk size things,
In her apartment or in your house?
In my house.
In your house.
In my house.
Okay.
Because when she first started live streaming from the dining room table, you could see my kitchen. You could see all the shit stacked up in stockpile everywhere.
Honestly, Arabia, I don't watch her. I've watched now, so we've got.
Well, I know there's a few people on here that did.
Yeah.
But you guys could see the stockpiles of shit in my kitchen. I literally would run out of place to actually store the shit that I would buy because I had so much of it.
We're gonna have to do a thing where you show me around, but you've got an Android, so we can't FaceTime. I want to see it.
Right. Well, my other friend FaceTimes me.
Oh, well, then
she does it from Facebook though. But anyway, but those same group of people that she would live stream in my kitchen that would follow her and see all my stockpiles of bullshit is the same group of people after she moved out that she'd get on live streams and talk about how financially I was struggling. How, bitch? How am I financially struggling like this when literally 3 people could come shop at my home?
Yeah. Well, you didn't hijack your daughter's unemployment. There's that.
And then she said something about I was struggling to pay my bills. Let me tell you something, Mandi. And I have the fucking receipt. When I moved back in that apartment, because I told you I've rented from my landlord 3 different times. I used to live on the apartment on the other end. But when I moved back in there, my rent was paid up till September the 1st from the day I moved in, which was way before Samantha ever came there.
Wow.
Way before unemployment started paying out.
Right. Wow.
The whole problem about paying the deposit on the dog is I never planned on keeping the dog.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. If
I had the money or if I didn't have the money, it wasn't a dog I said I would keep for myself. I was always supposed to and intended on giving this dog back to her daughter.
Until she got stupid.
Right.
She got stupid.
So,
how did she keep her area, like where she slept and where she bathed? Did she keep it tidy and clean for you?
Honestly, I would just shut the bedroom door a lot and not look at it.
Okay.
Because she was in the bedroom.
Why did she not stream in there? Why didn't she take her shit in there and stream in there?
Because at the time Samantha stayed at my house, we didn't smoke in there. I didn't smoke cigarettes in there, and she wasn't smoking no weed in there. And she would get on the computer for hours and want to smoke a cigarette or whatever, and that just was not going to ever happen from my bedroom. So that's one of the reasons, because there were a couple times that I'd let her open the kitchen window and smoke her blunt out the kitchen window while she was live streaming. And, after that, it just got to, okay, well, when Shamir wasn't home, I'll smoke cigarettes in the house, and it's a habit that I never should have started, because even now, when Shamir's not home, I smoke cigarettes in the house.
Well, and it's one thing if you smoke in the house, but good Lord, a guest should not, it should not help to facilitate the smoking in the house. Do you see what I'm saying?
But that was the thing with not putting the computer in the bedroom. Plus, she wanted to rearrange everything and, to make it fit in there. No, you're not going to rearrange my house so you can scream and yell on the internet. No.
Yes. Crazy cat lady. If you to believe that smoking weed 24/7 is an addict, which I believe it probably is, then you are exactly right. Exactly right. That might be why we haven't seen anything out of her. She's trying to get off of it.
Well, and I used to tell her, now I ain't got nothing about, about people smoking weed or whatever, because all my kids smoke. I used to smoke back in the day. I can't handle this new age fucking marijuana. No, give me some reefer from back in the day, from when,
people say
I don't like this new shit. I don't like this new shit.
Yeah.
And so I don't smoke it. But I've always told her, that she would always say, well, it's weed. It's not this. It's not that. The drug is irrelevant. The fact that you cannot be in your sober state
that's exactly
the problem.
You can't draw a sober breath.
Same thing I tell my kids. That's the same thing I tell my bitch. I can't fix it. I cannot stand trying to have a conversation with another adult that is either so intoxicated that you really can't have a conversation with them, or that it stays so high that you can't have a conversation with them.
I think Crazy Cat Lady was talking about Sam, you guys. She got timed out. I don't know. I think she was talking about Samantha, but because she said, why is weed looked at different than boozing? So,
well, it to me, I don't look at it any differently. I look at the fact that you cannot be in your sober state.
But I might have missed something. That's exactly it. It's when you have to do it when you get out of bed, and you have to continue to do it to deal with your actions.
When you have to be high or drunk all day long.
Yeah.
Or all night long.
And it does.
When you get to the point where you cannot function unless you are not in a sober state. That's what I call a problem. I don't care if it's weed. I don't care if it's alcohol. I don't care what the fuck it is. I don't differentiate between the drugs. I base my own personal opinion on the fact that if you cannot walk around for a whole day in your sober state, that is
a problem.
An addict. It's an addict.
And like I said, the biggest clue for me that she's completely immersed in her unhealthy obsession with Yaba and the weed use is that she completely and totally has decided that her grandkids are not going to be part of her life right now. That to me shows me, because if nothing else, that was something that was important to her. So she has let something take over her life.
But let me elaborate on that a little bit.
Hey, Andy.
I'm not saying she didn't love her kids or her grandkids. I don't think she was the best parent, but I don't think that she doesn't love them.
Right.
And I say this because I've known her for 30 years, and I know her off the internet, and I've spent time around her and her family. She spent time around me and my family. The thing about Samantha is she has to have something at all times that she attaches herself to. Samantha is not a person that can literally not have anything to do,
that makes
or
sense.
not, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying she didn't love her grandkids. So before anybody takes this and runs with it, but a lot of what you guys seen was the fact that she had to be attached to somebody or something.
Hey, Jellybean. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes a lot of sense. And now it's Yaba.
Right. Because you see how fast kids and grandkids matter once she attached herself to something else.
Right.
So again, I'm not saying she doesn't love her kids or her grandkids. I'm just simply elaborating on a lot of the over excessiveness about her grandkids was because she is the type of person that, and honestly, a lot of that comes from the fact that nobody's really attached themselves to her like that her entire life.
No, because she doesn't make it where they can. She doesn't have the qualities that it takes for someone to do that. As unhealthy as it is, what she has to offer is not something that someone's going to cling to. It's just not. It's not. Right. You're good, Karen. I knew what you thought. You're totally good. But I am going to sign off pretty soon because I'm tired. I would love to stay up and chat all night.
But wait a minute. I got one more thing to say.
Okay.
what I was talking about the perjury,
right?
and then we were talking about something else. What the fuck was I saying about the perjury? We got to talk about something else. Oh, yeah, I can't believe the police haven't shown up, y'all.
I can't
But
either. She must be
but
asleep.
but the officer told me when I was talking about how petty the threats were that I actually made,
Uh-huh.
and when you look at them in their context, that
Uh-huh.
that it should not have put any fear in her at all, really. But it really shouldn't have put any fear into somebody to run to 2 different courthouses in 2 different states, get 2 different domestic violence orders, go to 2 different county prosecutors, try to file 2 different sets of criminal charges. And the officer told me, he said, that alone shows me that she clearly wanted this for some other purpose.
Oh, of course. It's obvious.
I've never met a man more important than kids in my
She just,
But
you're just saying, like, she should for Sam to attach herself to her like that and turn her back on everything else is insane. But it's her decision, I guess.
well, here's the thing. To be honest, if she truly did it because her kids are grown, she
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go off and do her own thing and live her life.
Mm-hmm.
That yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
But that's not why she did it. She did it because she was months behind in rent.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't leave there with just, okay, you guys are settled. I'm going to go out here and see what happened. Like the way she explained it on that live stream, if it really happened that way, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't anything wrong with that.
Right.
But what was she doing when she decided to just go off and live her life? She had moved a child back in her house with her to help her get caught up on bills that she literally abandoned him there with.
Yep.
She tried to take her daughter's unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
This was in the midst of her baby girl, being in an abusive relationship,
Mm-hmm.
being in a position where she wasn't going to have a place to go.
Right.
And even though that child is almost 19 years old, let me tell you something. We all know me and my 19-year-old don't get along, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck how old your kids ever are.
Nope.
When your child needs somebody,
yes,
it's not about how old they are.
nope.
It is about the relationship and the bond and the love that you're supposed to keep for your children, no matter what.
Yep.
My daughter right now to this day, that fucking Serena, after all the shit she has talked about me on the internet, after the way she ganged up with them against me, after all that, if that child was to call me right now and say, I need you,
yep,
you better believe there is nothing that's going to keep me
nothing
from coming to her rescue.
Nope, nothing.
And it has nothing to do with how fucking old she is.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. None of that.
I agree.
When you are a mother and one of your kids are struggling, the simple fact, there's a certain just human obligation that doesn't quit because your kids turn 18 years old.
Right. No, I agree. I can get a text from one of my kids and know by the way they said, Mom, are you busy? That they need me right away.
Right. And the thing that a lot of people don't understand is Serena knows that too. And
she knows you'll always be there. She knows she can act a fool.
She's taken advantage of that before. She's taken advantage of that before. And it pisses me off with myself because I will drop everything. Right. Everything.
And that's just it. I think our kids sometimes act a fool because they know as mothers, we're never, ever, ever going to not be there. That's how it is. So they act a fool.
But if the story was as simple as, okay, my kids were grown, I met someone, I wanted to come and meet them, I wasn't sure what I was doing in my life at this point, so this is where I ended up. If it was that simple, fine. But that's not what happened. She literally just up and left in the middle of the night. I have texts from 2 of her kids, 2 different kids that didn't even know she was fucking leaving.
There you go.
I have texts from one of her kids that said, not only does she not know she was leaving, she had no idea she wasn't fucking coming back.
Yep.
This is not something she decided to do where her and her kids were just, you know, and not even that she owed them an explanation. But if you're going to go move 4 hours away, don't you think you would at least tell your kids, you know, that you're thinking about that?
Right. Oh,
there's a reason she didn't tell her kids that. Because that's not why she left. She left the kids fucked around in a goddamn mess back there.
Exactly. That they cannot.
And that's the fucking truth of it. And I didn't know that at first. And I didn't know that till she had been at my house for a couple weeks.
And then blocked their phone calls. So they couldn't get a hold of her to ask about it. Now, this would be all fine and good and be business between her and her kids if it weren't for the fact that she wants to stick her nose into parenthood with everybody else in the community. She wants to tell everybody else who's good and bad moms. Bitch, you don't have any room.
And the thing about it is, none of us are perfect parents. Just like she told somebody that she had to get up and feed my kid every day because I slept all day and stayed up every night. Let me tell you something. First of all, I was sleeping on the couch. So anytime my kid got up, I was aware of it. Okay.
At least in the house.
I'm also the type of person that I can go to sleep at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And if I got something to goddamn it do, I'll be up the next morning to do it. My entire adult life, I have spent just sleeping a few hours here, a few hours there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm used to that.
Who called her
that for years?
Read this. Arabia being called Arab is racist AF. Is that racist?
Well, you know what?
I don't know.
The thing. I think I called somebody some white trailer trash. So, I mean, what's fair is fair. You know, if it
but is that being like, I don't call people Arab, but is that a racist term?
Well, it depends on the context it's used in. Okay. I'm not an Arab, so it's offensive to me because I myself don't, you know, I don't vibe with a lot of Arabs. I'm Middle Eastern, yes. I'm Middle Eastern, yes.
Well, like I'm Iraq. That's what I said.
I'm not an Arab.
I don't call people Arab, so I didn't know, but because it doesn't sound like an actual term that it not a term that you would use to describe anyone's.
But you know, we'll just leave it at this. There are people in this stream and that follow Samantha that know for a fact that Samantha at one time thought Yaba actually liked me because the bitch would talk to me more than she would talk to Samantha. And if you guys can go back and find the live stream, if you guys can go back and find the live stream of where Yaba had come in her chat and did not speak to anybody but me in that stream, Samantha said on that stream, that is fucking enough. You're not allowed to talk anymore. If you guys can go back and find that stream. So Yaba can call me all the racist, whatever the fuck she wants to call me. Okay?
She called you an Arab? Yaba called you an Arab?
Remember, I told you somebody else told me that earlier too. But see, this is the thing. I don't follow these people around on the internet. So unless somebody tells me something bad about me, I don't know. I don't spit on the internet with any bitch.
Not with those ones. Not that territory.
I don't stream hop from bitch to bitch to bitch to bitch to find out what the fuck is being said about me. I really don't give a fuck.
Well, and I've given you the links to the live hangouts that are fun. You know which ones are fun. I've sent you the links. We don't hang around in these fringe.
But a lot of people in there don't like me because they know I was associated with her at one time. And a lot of people in that stream, a lot of people there in that particular place, they don't keep up with the other side. So they don't know that me and her had a whole falling out or anything. So.
But it's not. Okay, so before we go, they want you to I don't have to. You pick. I'm going to have her pick this song that will take us out here. when she comes back. Yeah, I had absolutely no idea that she was called that by Yaba. I didn't know. I don't watch them. I get the clips of the horrible things that she says about me when she reviews our streams, but I can't watch. Like you said, there's no point in watching it. It's a disgusting, disgusting stream. Whether people liked the boardroom or didn't like the boardroom, it was different than that, you know? Oh my God, silly me. Yaba and Arabia sitting in a tree. Kissing. First comes love, then comes marriage. Where did she go? No, no, they're not tired of. She's not. What she has to do is she checks the text and she pops back out. So we'll sit here for a second and see if she's going to, but she right now she's not here, and you don't want to hear me sing. So let me see if she texted me. No, well that might be all she wrote for tonight. Oh, my audio is messed up and Arabia is gone. Is that true? Is everybody having the same thing? Is my audio messed up? Okay, let me figure it out. We might have to end it there and she'll sing next time because I'm not seeing her come back in. But thanks for hanging out with us, guys. She can say what she wants to say. There is no law about butt hurt. Everyone has to be butt hurt. That's an amendment that you haven't seen yet, but you have to take your butt hurt and deal with it. You can't call the popo. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.